So this is my 120 volt Lorobbe vaporizer that I bought a few years ago, and I will tell you that this thing here, it was a game changer for me as far as my mite treatments go, because I used to use one of those wands, and half the time I didn't even get a good burn on it. So I definitely could see that it was like affecting my bees. So I ended up buying one of these, and I think these things, I think it was under $300 that I paid for this. But so it was definitely worth the investment. However, one of the issues with it right out of the gate was this little nozzle right here, this little nipple right here. I'm not even sure what the dimension is on that. But it's very, very thin. The diameter on that is very thin. You probably can't tell, but that's blocked right now. There's all kinds of like oxalic acid residue built up in there, and that was like a big issue with this thing right from the very start. And what would happen was you'd put one of these blue caps on there, right? You fill this up with your acid, you flip it over, and this thing would block up, and then it would just pop the cap right off. So time after time after time, I'd try to use this thing, and I wouldn't get a good burn on it. I really believe that was like a part of my problem with my bees. A lot of times it just wasn't getting a good burn on the oxalic acid, and the bees weren't getting a good treatment. So, but slowly what happened over time, you can see how thin this is. It started to bend up. You just stick in that little hole, right? And it just like, you know, it just sort of hangs there and dangles and it bends. Well, what happened last weekend, I knew this was going to happen too, and I'm kind of glad that it did. You probably can't see it, but there's a little crack down in there now. So last weekend I was out doing an acid burn on it, and all the vapor started coming out of the nozzle right here. This little nipple right here, right where that crack is, and it just came right up in my face. So the bees didn't even get any kind of a treatment at all. This just came in the mail the other day, and I think it was around $60, but this is the conversion kit. So what it is basically it's the same thing, except this pipe here is bigger. I think this is a 1/4 inch. And I got it mounted on here like that, same way this one, the original one is mounted on. But the way it's set up, then I'm going to be able to do vapors from the front of the hive. Can't do it with this setup. You can't do it from the front of the hive because of this bracket right here. I don't know why that's like that, but it just prevents you from doing anything. It prevents you from doing a vaporization from the front of the hive. And so what I need to do is I need to cut this out. Actually, I need to remove this. I need to cut this out right here to make room for this nozzle, this pipe coming out. And then I just got to reassemble it. I got to figure out a way to cut this out. This is aluminum, so it should cut pretty easily. Once I get this cut out, I have a Dremel. I can maybe sand this down and smoothen it up. Hopefully this goes well, because I don't want to buy a $500 vaporizer. Anyway, let's get started on this. So the first thing I need to do, I believe, is to take this piece off here. It's like a wrapper. So once I get that off, then this heating element, it should come off. This is just like a hex key. There, that was easy. There. Set that off to the side. I got my cold frame greenhouse sitting right here. It's kind of getting in my way. This is where I have all my hot peppers are started for my hot pepper, my hot honey, my habanero honey later this year. So you got a nut here. This needs to come out. I think that's the right size. Keep everything in order. Okay, Okay, I was able to pry this washer off with a screwdriver, and then this wire just comes out like that, and it's kind of, that's corroded. That's not looking good. See, the new piece comes with all new wiring and all new connections and everything, but I just don't feel comfortable with like unscrewing this and then having to put it back together. Maybe I might end up doing that before this is all said and done, but for now, all I gotta do is pull that bowl out, and there it is. That's the old one out, and just gotta put this new one back in. Just scrape that off. I really should have this in a vise. Let me, before I get too far with this, let me try this. This is the new one. Oh, that slides right off. So, see, that just pops right out of there. Should. I don't know if this is the right thing to do or not. Hope this isn't a mistake. Sent Lorobbees an email asking for some kind of instructions for this, and I never heard back, so I thought, all right, it's just time to do this myself. So I think this will work. That's all I need to do is just like reassemble it. I'll slide right down in like that, except you can see right there, you see how that's hitting right here. So I gotta cut a piece of this aluminum out. That shouldn't be too bad, cutting this out. So I'm gonna get started on that. I think my Dremel might be able to do it. Okay, so here's the new bowl. If you can see, what's going on here is this piece right here, kind of like this little bent up flange right here. It's like gonna interfere with this bowl sitting all the way down in. So, because the original bowl, the nipple is like up here, or the nozzle is up here. Well, so therefore I got to cut this out. I'm just gonna eyeball that. I'm not a perfectionist, so if I get this close, I'll be okay with it. Let me do it like. So that's what I have to cut out right there. I don't know if you can see that little square piece right there. I need to cut that out with my Dremel. I'm going to try, I have these little carbon tips for my Dremel. I also have like these steel tips. I'd rather try the carbon ones first to see how that works. Let me get that Dremel going. Speed up this process a little bit. I have this old Master Mechanic rotary tool. It's been in the cabinet for years and I haven't used it. Let's give it a shot. There you go. But the old master mechanic did it. That's 120 volts versus battery. No comparison. Okay. If you decide to do this, see that little gap right there? Right there where these wires go through, where these wires go into the casing, make sure you plug that up, because I didn't even realize that until I was halfway through it. But you need to plug that up to keep all those metal filings from getting down inside of your casing. But that's pretty smooth. I mean, that's not perfect, but it's good enough for a beekeeper. A Pennsylvania beekeeper, like myself. So, what I need to do now is just to reassemble this with the new pot. I think it goes like this. Yeah, that's a good fit. There, maybe that'll work. I had to take some of that material out of there. It looks good. There you go. Really about a half-hour job if you got a Dremel or something like this, like some sort of a rotary tool. It's not too bad. And now I can vaporize my hives from the front entrance, and I don't have to worry about this pipe here, this nipple breaking off. So hopefully it'll work better. Hopefully it won't clog up on me a lot like it used to with the old one. Okay, now we're going to take this out for a test run. Right at 400, see what it does. Is it gonna burn? See what this thing does. Is it burning? Yeah, it's burning. See that? It's burning. So at least I put it together right. Gotta wait for this to come up to 400 or so. Okay, we're at 400. On to the next one. Oops. Alright, there's 400. It didn't get everything, but it got most of it. I'll show you one more. There you go. It's burning. When that temperature drops, that means it's burning. Okay. Hold on. Okay, that's what I'm going to show you. Okay, so this thing, it works better with this new piece on it, with this wider diameter pipe. But it did still block up on me. It blocked up on me 4 times. And I only did 12 hives. So blocking up 4 times, like every 3 hives it was blocking up. So it's just the way it is. It's just always going to be that way, and something that I'm going to have to deal with. But something that kind of irritates me is the way it's set up. I was really hoping, because it's supposed to be for like a front entrance, right? Unless I'm not misunderstanding the way it's supposed to work, but just the way it is with these entrance reducers, I was really excited about this, that I'd be able to treat, but I can't. Like, it's not going to work. So that's one thing that bothers me a little bit about it. So I still have to go through the back of the hive, and I actually had to, because of the wider or the larger diameter pipe, I had to drill out all my holes in the back of I had to widen them all in the back of my hives, and I got all kinds of holes in my hives, which is irritating. But I don't know. It is what it is. It works better. It's faster. Still clogs up. It burned better though. It just came up to temperature faster, and it burnt everything faster, it seemed. So it did save me time. That's it for my oxalic acid treatments for a while. My next treatment, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm even thinking about doing a Formic Pro treatment sometime in late April or May. I don't know. I got to think about that one for a while, because there could be some consequences if it goes wrong. So, but I do know now that my oxalic acid vapor treatments are over with for the time being. Anyway, next weekend's supposed to be a nice weekend. I can get into the hives, do a deep dive, see what I have going on, and take it from there. Okay, I'm Darren. I'm the Pennsylvania beekeeper. See you next time.